have the Trimet technocrats have submitted their proposal as a status quo proposal, and they've used words like, because we want to cooperate with the union, we're going to be nice to you. They framed it as they're being benevolent. They waited 2 days, and then they put it out to the public in typical Trimet fashion, trying to manipulate the public against the union. They didn't give the union a chance to respond. They immediately put it out to the public. They painted themselves as the good guys. It's all expected kind of stuff. If you watch them like I do, you see this is how they do business. So let's consider the proposal. Let's think about it for a minute. Now, I'm one of the few people that actually follows this material on a daily basis, so I have a very good perspective of what's happening. And not only do I follow Trimet, I follow multiple transit agencies. And what you'll see is that multiple transit agencies are now being benevolent to their employees, and that now includes Trimet. We've seen this at other agencies. Last one was BART, who decided they're not going to make their enemies the enemy anymore, and they're going to give them the contract that they had. They're not going to ask for any more cuts. And so now we see Trimet jumping on that bandwagon. Now that's important to understand, that this is a coordinated effort by these transit districts. They get together. People don't understand what really happens here. These transit districts coordinate their activities. You see it in the repairs that are going on at Trimet right now, the failure of Washington, the failure of Boston, BART. All of these transit agencies decided at the same time that they're going to fix their systems. Their systems are a mess, et cetera, et cetera. And they all did the same thing. So what we understand from that is that these transit agencies are not operating in a vacuum. They're operating as a group. They're operating together. They coordinate their activities. People don't understand that. This is a coordinated effort. This is government at its best. The government conspires to set its agenda, and then it will push that agenda throughout its various tentacles, one of which is Trimet. So this is not some Trimet idea that, we're going to give our employees the same thing because we're so nice. No, this is this coordinated agenda here. And this apparently is what transit agencies are doing. Now, take it one step further. Now, why is this happening? Well, if you knew the subject topic as I do, you'd see quite clearly that many of these transit agencies plan on going to the voters for money, They're going to go to the voters, and they want more money. They want the voters to open up their pocketbooks and give them their cash. Because our government never reallocates any resources. They just want more of your money. We've already got your money, but we want more. There's never any idea that, let's reallocate some of our current funding and push it into another place. No, it's never discussed. They always come back and want your money. This is a pattern you see over and over. You see it in Portland. Portland wants a gas tax. They want a street tax. They want an arts tax. Whatever tax they get this time, they'll be back in a few more years for another tax. This is never. The government will always be trying to get your money because that's what they do. This is what they do. People have to understand that government wants your money, and they'll never stop taking it. If you want to give it to them, they'll take it. So what I'm trying to say here is Trimet, and I've read this in the media, is going to be proposing money for their brilliant idea for more light rail to Tigard. This is their newest brilliant Trimet idea. We're going to put a light rail line in the Tigard. All right, you know how I feel about light rail. I think it's a scam, but there's good points to light rail. It's not all bad, but I am no supporter of light rail in general because it's basically a developer scam. So with this in mind, you understand Trimet doesn't want to have a problem with its employees right now. So they're offering to, here's your contract from last time, we'll give you the same thing. This leads me to the next point. I mean, where are we at? I think that current Trimet employees should understand that they're getting paid $5 an hour less than Seattle Metro employees, and they're getting paid, I think it's $3, $4 less than San Francisco transit employees. I'm talking about bus drivers. I don't know about mechanics. they're substantially underpaid compared to the two closest West Coast cities, which is Seattle and San Francisco. Now, why is that? That is because when the original contract, which gave us that really excellent health care, was negotiated, the union had given up the raises because we wanted the health care. We said, okay, we're not going to take our how many ever dollars per hour increase in wage because we want our excellent health. Health care is more important to us than cash in our pocket. And that's the reason why Trimet drivers right now are $5 an hour less than Seattle Metro, because we have that excellent health care. Well, guess what? We don't have that anymore. You have standard 80-20 health care, which is what every government employee has. You have your deductibles, et cetera, et cetera. It's standard insurance, and it's the same insurance that the Trimet non-union employees have. Now, of course, Trimet's not going to come back for any more cuts there because that would mean they'd have to cut themselves. And one thing we know about the execs is they're not going to cut themselves. They never lost anything. In the Great Recession and everything that followed, the executives never lost a dime, okay? They took some vacations. They called it a furlough. But they took a vacation and then they came back to the nice fat salary. We have McFarland, Bruce Warner, the board chairman, gave McFarland another extra month vacation so we wouldn't have to use the word, oh, by the way, we're going to give Neil McFarland a raise. Now, they didn't want to use that word because they knew that the public might have a problem with that, so they tried to hide it by calling it extra vacation, which McFarland doesn't use, because why would you use your vacation if you're a Trimet executive? Your entire life is a vacation. You don't work. You go to meetings. You go on trips. You're a big, important person. You don't actually work. You're not like a bus driver that actually has to work. You know, these executives don't really work. So, of course, they don't take their vacation. Why would they? Their whole life is a vacation. What was I trying to say? All right, so anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is that Trimet bus drivers, as of now, are underpaid. And they're underpaid because in the past, the union gave up the raises so that we could have the health care. Well, Trimet officials have negated that. They threw that out when Fred Hansen decided to leave. And I'm sure this was all planned out before Fred left. And Fred, you know, the king of greed, who's got a $17,000 a month pension, something absurd. He spent 11 years at Trimet, and he leaves with a $17,000 a month pension. You know, I'm sure he coordinated with McFarland and said, okay, when I leave, you can go bust these motherfuckers because we conned them into thinking they actually were going to keep their health care and we were going to screw them. And that's when McFarland came in. He made us the enemy. He did everything that a lot of other public agencies are doing. They make the union member the enemy, and the public, being the public, the American public, likes to tear down people that are doing better than they are. Very effective strategy. Donald Trump is a perfect example of how that strategy is so successful. It'll tear down all these other people, and people will love that. So they got rid of the health care, but they didn't change the wage, okay? And then we had Bruce. Bruce, he capitulated. And then, so Trimet got everything they wanted. They got rid of the health care. They got the 80-20. And so now they want the same thing. So they want us to continue with the deal that they gave, which, if it were me, I would take it because I know that this is a stacked deck. We can't beat them. You know, the arbitration is slanted to the organization. But, you know, I don't see that the union should just capitulate to this either. I mean, they've done a lot of dirty tricks to us over these last 7 years. And now they're trying to pretend they're benevolent. And it's just more bullshit coming out of the Trimet. It's more bullshit. And unless you're tracking this material, and nobody does, except for me, unless you track the material, you don't understand what's going on. You have no idea that they know what they're doing. You just see the mainstream media, which just regurgitates whatever the Trimet officials want them to. There's no investigations on anything. I mean, the only decent story that came out of Joe Rose's tenancy at the Oregonian was the McFarland pork barrel story, where he exposed McFarland's ridiculous pay and benefits and vacation and retirement. But the rest of it is pretty much anti-union. What I'm trying to say here is that, okay, maybe the best we can do, but you current employees of Trimet, you're $5 an hour less than Seattle Metro, okay, and you have equivalent benefits as Seattle Metro now. Realistically, the union should ask for more pay for the active employees because they don't have the deal I had. I don't have, they screwed me as a retiree. They went back and said, ah, fuck you, we just lied to you and all the other, we lied, oh well, too bad, tough. That's the way it goes. But the current employees are underpaid. Okay, the current employees are underpaid, and the union really should not just accept this and say, oh, everything is wonderful, we'll just take this because you guys are wonderful, because they're not wonderful. Okay, this was a highly manipulated, intentional strategy, not just at Trimet, but among the transit districts. So I'm interested to see what Shirley, John, Mary, and Ron come up with, and I'm convinced that we have the right people there to deal with this. We have the right people to deal with this now. I still maintain Bruce was not really understanding what the real deal was with the Trimet people. The Trimet people my opinion, and I don't, it's just my opinion, is that they schmoozed him into this. And they can't schmooze Shirley, and they can't schmooze John. They sure as hell can't schmooze Ron. So it'll be interesting to see how the union comes back with a counter proposal. But it looks okay at the moment, but I hope that the union can get some kind of a concession out of them because they've killed us on the last two contracts. It was just nothing but give back, give back, give back. We're the enemy. Give back, give back. They ruined the name of the Trimet bus drivers in the community, and they're still trying to present themselves as the big heroes. And people like me understand it's a lie, but you have to understand that most people don't track on this information. They're not paying attention to this. They don't care. Portland doesn't give a shit about mass transit. 12 or 13% of the population uses it, and they don't even bother thinking about it. They get on the train, they go downtown, they go to work, they go home. Basically, Trimet functions pretty decently, I suppose, overall. You'll get home, and you might be late, but that's, at least you'll get there without burning up to death like you will in Washington. But so I'm interested to see what Shirley, Ron, and John come up with here. Never trust the Trimet technocrats. Never trust them. They're definitely liars and thieves and con men, and there's always some kind of there's something else going on besides what they say. What they say and what they do are always different. But just understand, this is not just them being benevolent. This is a countrywide movement here. All of these transit districts have decided they're not going to fight with their union members, and that's because they want the taxpayers to pony up. And they don't need the union people talking bad about them. So there's an ulterior motive here.